Hey everybody, Alex Kazor, SteelersDepot.com back for a quick Pittsburgh Steelers training camp update. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information like usual on training camp with us not being there and the team keeping a tight lid on information about what's happening at Heinz Field this year, but we have heard really positive early and initial reports on second round pick and Steelers first draft pick, wide receiver Chase Claypool. And while some of that could be hype and you would expect a guy like Claypool with his height, weight, speed combination to look good in a practice setting like this, it's still encouraging nonetheless. And some of the comments we've heard about that, starting with Joe Hayden, and Joe Hayden's obviously a veteran cornerback, a guy who's seen a lot of rookie receivers. Some of that may be a little biased in terms of just wanting to pump up a young guy and a rookie, but it seems like that Claypool's gotten the better of Hayden in some early camp work and some seven shot series and some red zone fades. And so the areas we've heard Claypool really succeed early is in seven shots, is in the end zone on some of the jump ball situations. And I think the expectation for Claypool, basically, since he's been drafted, knowing the pandemic climate and how much of a tougher climate it's going to be for any rookies, especially receivers, to make the jump and try to transition from college to the NFL. But I think the two areas where Claypool can succeed, starting with red zone and starting with some of those goal line fades, and that's where he's really seems to be excelling early on. I think I'll pull up the quote from Hayden here, just talking about how he's going to be a problem. Talking about Claypool will be for defenses down inside the 20. This was, of course, the 32nd ranked red zone offense last year. Much of that is obviously related to the lack of a quarterback situation and Ben Roethlisberger's injury, but adding guys like Claypool and signing Eric Ebron definitely going to be red zone threats, and that's going to help there. I do want to, of course, caution on some things. We're hearing about Ben and Claypool building chemistry, and I'm sure some of that is happening, but there's a lot more to chemistry than just throwing some back shoulder fades. That's kind of more almost innate talent. Chemistry is being able to read coverages the same way and run option routes and be able to sight adjust and have little checks of the line and things like that. That's your chemistry. That's going to take a lot more time, a lot more work, a lot more game situations to grow and develop in. But still, it's good to at least get that feel. You're seeing Ben will throw some intentional bad balls, some back shoulder fades, some tough adjustments. He does that routinely to young guys just to see how they react to that, because that's not, sometimes that's going to happen in an NFL game, an NFL situation where you're going to have to make a difficult catch. Not everything's going to be perfectly thrown right in your chest. So you kind of like to see Claypool respond to that, and so far it seems like he's been responding pretty positively in that regard. Also, just throw up a photo of Claypool, and this is just from the warm up stuff that Steelers.com, the team website, carries, and just kind of see how much bigger Claypool is. Just kind of really get a sense of that freak, rare size speed combination. You see not too often, but I've seen with guys like Martavis Bryant, and probably more commonly kind of related and compared to is Plexico Burris, and just compare him to James Washington. That's Anthony Johnson, number 83. And neither of those guys are small guys. Washington's 5'11, that's about average, and Johnson's like 6'2, 6'3. So just not only in height, but just overall size and just the body makeup, you see just kind of how freaky Claypool is. And that'll be refreshing for the team to have. The other element that Claypool will bring, and this is a pass that special teams coordinator Danny Smith had made earlier on Wednesday over on Steelers.com, or a Zoom call with media, I should say, it is at special teams work. And so, again, I think Claypool can make an impact right away in red zone. I think he can make an impact right away on special teams. This was a guy that was a gunner all 4 years at Notre Dame. Even his senior season, Claypool was working on special teams, running down punts. He didn't want to come off that unit. He said, "Keep me on that unit." So even when he became the established number one receiver, he was still chasing down punts. And I think there's a good chance he'll be a starting gunner week one against the Giants, opposite of cornerback Justin Lane. So Danny Smith talking about how, go ahead and talk him up as a receiver. We'll keep the special team stuff as kind of a secret. So good stuff there from Chase Claypool. Like the encouraging signs early. It is, of course, early. This is a training camp setting. You want him to succeed in this moment. That's not a shock, given just how innately talented and how physically freaky he is. And of course, he'll be challenged a lot more once the regular season begins. But happy at least to hear some progress from Chase Claypool and how he's doing to begin the year. So let me know your thoughts on Chase Claypool. Any other thoughts on training camp stuff you'd like for us to attempt to cover? Again, unfortunately, not a whole lot to talk about in the early going right now. But let me know if you have any other thoughts or comments in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.